Hello again. So this is going to be interesting. This is pure demo, no slides. Interesting challenges last time. I think the last line of code was added to this about an hour ago. And we got a few interesting features going on. But we're going to continue and try and make this do exactly as we want. So the two things, the area I really wanted to cover is how people can make money from caffeine. And I think like one of the most important things that technology can do is give people some kind of superpower on the one hand, and gaining the powers of an entire tech team by talking is one. But it's also great if you can make people industrious, somehow not just make them even more productive, but give them a way of making money. And actually, caffeine's going to, I think, reinvent what an app store is. We call it the app market. It's not switched on yet. People in the alpha can't publish to it, but that's coming very soon. And anybody is going to be able to publish what they've created to the app store. And we anticipate that it'll be kept very much open because there's already some guardrails in the sense that the AI won't allow you to build something that's evil, and although you can trick it or use something that is designed or ostensibly for good, and there are other ways of dealing with that. So I think this will be an app store where anybody can publish anything. Doesn't mean you'll be top of the rankings and people will find your app. Quality still matters, but anybody will have the freedom to publish from anywhere in the world. And the percentage of the revenue generated from your app will be much smaller than that deducted from things like the Play Store and on Google and the Apple App Store. So openness and giving people more of their revenues and enabling people to participate from anywhere is going to be very important. So here I am. I've been asked actually to change the theme to light. There we go. Just for the record, actually, I mean, we actually have a very large number of funky themes. There's only a few that are available right now. Anyway, we're going to go to the light theme. OK. So app market. This is a very important piece of this app. So at the moment, the only apps in this market are things that we've added. But in the future, you'll just be able to publish whatever you've created, and there'll be no restrictions whatsoever. So I'm going to clone a couple of things. First, I'll clone this one, Brilliance Jewelry. And you probably notice that the word is clone, not install. And that's because you're actually cloning the app, and you're free to modify it after you've cloned it. So this one's quite a big one. It'll probably take a little while to build. Let's go and clone another one while we're at it. So let's take this guy here. This one's live already, which is good. OK. So Caffeine kind of shows you the app inside an iframe, but you can also obviously open it on a URL. So we won't play with this one too much because it's a complicated one. But it's, a classical kind of e-commerce experience. I wonder if they've implemented that. Yeah, they have. So you could, having cloned it, use this as a starting point. We won't, though. One of the things I'm going to show you next is building an e-commerce store from scratch just by prompting. And we're going to integrate it with Stripe. Let's see how the other one's going. OK, so, oops, it didn't open that for me. That's that. problem we've seen. Let's open this guy up. OK. So, you know, the App Store can contain complicated apps like Brilliance Jewelry and simple apps like Tiny Tasks. Let's sign into this thing. So one of the revolutionary things about apps within Caffeine is they're kind of fluid. So that means you're going to be able to clone an app in the App Store, customize it, build on it, make modifications. And then if the app developer, which could be absolutely anyone, produces future versions, you'll be able to pull in the new features and developments into your app while keeping your customizations. So the AI will kind of meld them together. And I think this hints at the kind of fluidity that I was talking about earlier today. OK, so here's a tiny task manager. Let's do something. Add task. Look into front. Oops, and flicker, whatever. Date. Yeah, 15th. This is good for me. Priority, high. It flickers sometimes. OK, so create task. Let me just look at this thing here. So yeah, so let's make some changes to this. Go back to the actual app and say, all right, add the oops. Okay. So now we're beginning to customize the app that we cloned from the App Store, and keep our fingers crossed because it sort of seemed to be a bit flaky before, but the AI is taking us through the process. It's updated the spec. Now it's updating the code. So this is a completely new paradigm. It's a much more open paradigm. Instead of just installing something that was pre-made, we're cloning an app, and we're able to build on it and potentially even republish it. So we're kind of combining the App Store paradigm with open source paradigms. And that's quite a big thing all in itself. But it goes even beyond that because, of course, in open source you can fork a project, but then pulling the code changes from the original project can be extremely difficult. And that's something that we can automate using AI. So you start thinking about apps in as being much more fluid things. So how are we going with that? So while these things are building away, so I don't run out of time, I'm going to create another project. And here we go. Just try to work out. Build me an online shop for my golf store. Okay. Typos are not good on stage. I need payment integration and the ability to easily add items. All right. I've actually got a so you'll notice actually on the screen now we're hiding the URL. In the last session, we found out that this stuff is actually really running on the internet on a real URL because everybody on the live stream was able to type it in and join me. That's hidden. But people are going to get another chance in a second. They can see my Stripe API key. But it's just the trial API key. Luckily, we're not playing with Bitcoin private keys, right? That would have been funny. All right, so that thing is writing a lot of code. Wow, and if you can see behind me on this, the backend code is really going to town. Interesting. It's created quite a complicated backend. Let's have a look at this while it's going. I'll leave that. Okay, this thing's done something. Okay, so we got version 2. Let's go look at it in the big window so you can all see it better. Okay, got to add this one. Okay, cool. So we asked it to add priority, I think, an estimated hours. So or priority was the estimated hours, whatever, 16. Say 16 hours. No, 8 hours, please. Okay, so update that task. So we've already started adding features to this, and of course, if we went to the code and I change this at my peril, okay, it's not showing it. Let's go to this. Okay, so that's the problem we had before. But this is, of course, enhanced orthogonal persistence in action, because if we could open the code, we would see that the definition of the task object has been changed. Like the actual task object's been changed. It's had this estimated number of hours added to it. So let's do another one anyway. We can see that we've got the estimated number of hours, 8 hours. Here it is. And we'll do one more change. By the way, as we go, something else I should mention, which will bring us back to. Currently, I'm working in draft mode. And that's why you can see that message up the top. It's changed to view code changes. So everything was perfect, working perfectly. I'd click that, and it would show me the diffs which are useful if I was technically minded, obviously. I can also revert to a previous version. So when you're working in draft mode, it's actually possible to revert to earlier versions. It'll actually create migration logic to try and get your data back too. Meanwhile, at any point, I can push it live, which means that it's not in draft. I'm basically taking the code itself and pushing that live. Now, you can imagine how this works. You continue creating draft version after draft version after draft version. Then you're like, I like this draft version. You push it live, and then you go back to just creating more draft, adding more and more draft versions. Then eventually you find another draft version you think is really cool, and you push that live too. And using enhanced orthogonal persistence, the AI will create logic that migrates the logic of the app from the first live version to the second live version. So that's very cool. Okay, let's just add another feature, which is going to be, so we're going to see this versioning in practice as well. Add a GAN chart to improve the overview. Okay. See how that goes. Hope it doesn't go into the flicker. All right, so while that's going on, let's go back to our golf store. By the way, I mean, it should be obvious, I guess, but worth saying that the paradigm here is chat apps. So the Caffeine front end is structured very much like WhatsApp or Signal or something like that. And that's deliberate because projects are conversations. So we're going to go back to the Golf Store online shop. And it's built it for us, which is pretty incredible when you look at the complexity of this backend that it created first shot. And Interesting. It's done another backend stuff. OK, this is really quite a complicated thing that it's created. So let's have a look if it works. OK. OK. Pretty cool, right? All right. OK. All right, I think there was some frantic back-end bug fixing going on. Maybe it's solved. This is looking pretty good. So, and this, by the way, is just on with one shot. So, it's end-to-end life cycle. I won't push it live. I'll push it live in a second. But if I wanted to, I could push this live. But we're going to now try and add a Stripe integration. OK. So obviously, there's no images or anything like that, but yeah, whatever. OK. Primary account. If you're interested in internet identity, with each passkey for an app, you can associate different sub-accounts. So for example, with internet identity, if you're participating in a user forum, say, you could have 2 different identities, but they'd both hinge off the same passkey. We're not trying to enable people to create sock puppets, but it's true that it could be used that way. OK, set up payment processing. All right. OK, so now I understand this thing. OK, here we go. It's been put there. OK. Right there. So now what I want to do, I don't know if I'm allowed to buy stuff in admin mode. I'll try it. Otherwise, I can log out and use a different identity to log in. Let's just try this. OK. It's got a shopping cart. And that seems to have some things in it. Oh. So that bit doesn't quite work yet. So that's OK. What I'm going to try and do is log out. Let's go like this. OK, so that actually, let's go back in. So of course, one of the things I should say, obviously this is a live demo. App development is a conversation. So most people will expect when they're building something this complex that not everything is going to work first time. You have a conversation and you tell it what's wrong. So right now I'm going to tell it, hey, when I click on, when a user clicks on the shopping cart, nothing happens. The cart does not open. Now, of course, in this case, we're putting this prompt in. It might be something more complicated. It might be that when I'm in admin mode, I'm not able to also be a shopper or something like that. Who knows? But we'll leave that going. And oh, you're right. The shopping cart button currently doesn't open a cart view or drawer. Would you? Yeah. Yes. Of course. I mean, it's kind of funny, isn't it? When you get new technology, how quickly you begin to take it for granted. Literally in a minute or something like that, from one very simple prompt, it's created this entire e-commerce store with a Stripe integration for us. And now I'm upset because I find that the shopping cart doesn't work perfectly. And put that in perspective, I mean, it took us a minute or something like that. I don't know if it's going to fix it in one go now, but if you were to give a normal, human software developer the task that this thing just completed in a minute, I mean, it could be, depending on the engineer, it could be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. This is a major change, going from that amount of work to being able to give an instruction in natural language and getting a result in a minute. So let's go back to the thing that we got from I'm running out of time, from the App Store. You can see, by the way, that there are sort of successive code changes being created here. Sorry, successive draft versions being created. Let's open version 3 and see how we're going. OK. Active tasks, Gantt. It's done it. Eh? It's done it. Yeah. So I think this points to the future where, app development is a conversation where anybody can just push what they've created through conversation so that others can clone it, whereupon they don't just get a fixed thing, they get a fluid thing that they can continue to evolve through more conversation, while potentially later on also incorporating new functionality that's been added to the original app that they cloned in the App Store. And then maybe one day, subject to licensing and a few other things like that, that maybe they can even republish that themselves for free or something like that. So I'll just go back. I think that's pretty much it. I'll click on this thing if it's built it, but I'm out of time. OK, it's building it. We'll give it one go. Just as a reminder, this is the code it's written in a very short time for us. This is backend code here, Motoko code, which again is all enhanced orthogonal persistence, no database. It's actually written an entire file, which is, I guess, whatever logic you have to. That's the index page. The index page is incredibly simple. OK, anyway, go back. Draft web page. Oops, admin, no. I've got a feeling this is, OK, it's worked. There we go. And this I should not do. I'm going to press because we're just going to go down a rabbit hole. Ooh, no, it's... Oh, OK. I'm going to count my blessings and stop there. But yeah, in a few prompts, I've gone pretty far. And where's the mobile thing? There it is, Golf Store online shop. So I'll take one last risk. Let's have a look if this thing looks great on mobile. Has it made it reactive? Yeah, it seems to. That's pretty cool. Yeah. These are products, they're all here, there's no images. Yeah. So I've created a beautifully reactive site, and then since this is a mobile paradigm, OK, this is kind of funny. One last risk. Why not? I'm an entrepreneur after all, right? Push this draft live for real usage. OK, I've got to give it. This is where we're going to get screwed because everyone's going to see the domain. Golf. I know there was one of these bugs in there earlier. Can you confirm that the card doesn't? Oh, God, it's asking me this. I don't need to confirm, it already works. I mean, when it works perfectly, it's glorious, right? And yeah, so actually this is kind of simple in version 2. I know it's done something you can see, like it's done a bunch of different deployments there. What's actually happening is it's doing migrations from one step to the other step to the other step. It's a sort of easy way of implementing it. Let's view this. OK, there it's live. So this now, yeah. So this would now be a permanent website. And if you're in the corporate environment, actually, we're introducing functionality where the deployment of an app from draft to live mode can be configured, a gate can be configured with like something like a multi-sig. So you can say to someone in your organization, hey, you vibe away talking to Caffeine to create this thing that we need, or an upgrade that we need. But when you want to push that draft live, that functionality live, you have to get the sign-off of, like, let's say, I don't know, 2 out of 3 of these people or something like that. So this system is designed to enable individuals and organizations create production apps that are secure, resilient, and sovereign entirely through conversation. So that's it. Thanks.